Hey, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. How was your weekend?
It was good. How was yours?
Busy. Busy, busy, busy.
Oh,
No, watching all these shows.
oh, got you. I was like, oh, like, okay.
No, no, no. Okay, so welcome to the zone. We are going over Bling Empire season 1, episode 2, Tale of Two Trusts. We're going to do a quick summary and then we can dig in. Okay, so the episode opens at a party where Kim is the DJ. Then we go over to the Chu residence in Bel Air, and Christine invites Anna over. The next scene, we see Anna inviting Kevin over to her house because she wants to talk about, she wants to play matchmaker. I'll leave it at that. Next, we go on to Christine and her husband, Dr. Chu, and they're teaching baby G how to swim. The following scene is Anna inviting Kelly over to her house, continuing her matchmaking session. Next, we see Dr. Chu taking Christine to the egg bank. Next, we go on. We have Kelly and Drew going to a therapy session with Dr. Bethany. Then we have Kane, Kevin, and Andrew having dinner. Next, we have Christine and Dr. Chu speaking to their son in Mandarin for breakfast. Next, baby G has a photo shoot and Kevin stops by. Next, we see Kevin going over to Anna's house to talk to her. Then we have Kane and Kevin going to Cherie's house. And last but not least, we have Christine and Dr. Chu getting ready for an event. Let's dig in. Okay, so the club scene was just fluff. It was Kevin wanting, flirting with Kelly and wanting to get a kiss.
Right. Or at least he's honest. I'm like, hey, like, at least you're going for it. Yeah, she's in a relationship. I mean, everyone can see it's not the best relationship.
Mhm.
So he's like, well, might as well be ready when she finally leaves him.
But she's not resistant. Like
No, she's not.
she's
She's
not
not.
saying back off. Like
Hmm.
that's not acceptable. I think she's leaving the door open.
Oh, yeah, I think deep down she knows that her relationship with Andrew is not great, and
Mhm.
it seems to be more not great than great. So I think that's why she's more open to Kevin. So I think if she were truly happy, she would just be like, "No, I'm very happy," blah blah blah. But she's not. I've not heard her say, "I'm happy."
Correct. Correct. But I'm sure that relationship will unfold for us as we go along.
Most
Okay.
definitely.
So Christine invites Anna over to her home to discuss Anna's dinner party.
Mm. The shade back and forth is so funny. And Anna's just looking when we called it last week. We said like, well, Anna was born into this.
Mhm.
Christine married into it. So like we called it. We called it.
Yeah.
She's like, like basically she's like, I was like, Christine is like, trying to show me like what I was born into. Basically, is what to paraphrase.
Yeah, and it kind of felt like a cat baiting a mouse. Christine, bless her little heart, really does try to needle Anna, and it's almost like Anna just finds her so irrelevant. She's
Hmm.
humoring her by showing up for that meeting. She really is.
Right,
Like if she had anything else better to do, like get an ingrown toenail removed, she would have done it.
right.
But she was just like, okay, whatever, I have a few minutes. And she summed up that whole scene by Anna saying um, that Christina's an effing piece of S.
Hmm. And that was it. And that was she was like,
Oh.
and that's that on that.
I love it when she said, there's just no competition.
Yeah, like no. And she was just like, but she was just so unbothered. That was just the funniest thing. As
Yeah.
much as Christine tried to, like you said, needle her and get under her skin, she was just so unbothered.
Yeah. I think Christine was frustrating herself more than trying to frustrate Anna.
Right.
Okay, so the next scene we see Anna inviting Kevin over to her home, and this is where Kevin meets Lauren for the first time, and Anna starts playing matchmaker. She's decided after seeing a couple of situations with Kelly and Andrew, um, and they call him Drew sometimes, so I might flip between the two.
Yeah.
She's decided she doesn't like him for her, so she wants to match up Kevin with Kelly.
Exactly. I'm like, Anna's Anna just reminds me of Patricia on Southern Charm. Like this is what I'm gonna do. This is I'm the queen, and listen to me. And she's not wrong. And
Yeah.
Kevin's hilarious. He's like, well, she has a boyfriend. I'm like, if you don't stop, and then she presses her. When she presses him further, he's like, well, she's hot and like she's this and she's that. She's great. She's perfect. I'm like, yeah, that's your real feeling. So just be honest with it.
What'd you think about her stripping down in the middle of this conversation as if this is something I do every day?
Well, she probably spends most of her time in Europe, so she'd probably be on the beaches. I can
I
see
had
it.
to look up how old she is. She's 60. She look good for 60.
Oh yeah, very well maintained. And like I think this was a scene when she said, was this a scene when she talking to Kevin when she said, I've had four great marriages, I've had four great
No,
divorces.
that's when she's talking to Kelly.
Kelly.
That's yeah, part 2 of the matchmaking session.
Okay, that's part two.
Um, but he in this scene, Lauren is just looking, and he says to Kevin, "Haven't you ever seen a woman before?" He goes, "Yeah, I've seen plenty of women, just not this one."
Right.
And
Right.
they are giving her the respect, of like the grand dame status.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was expecting any, like, if he was at a modeling like a fashion show or something like that, that would not have phased him.
Right. Exactly. But when we went to
Mhm.
Moon's home, it's like, oh, okay.
Mhm. So then she surprises him and says, "Whatever you want." And it was stuff from, I think it was from Dior or
It was
something like
Dior,
that.
yeah.
And she had men's and women's clothes there. So Lauren and Kevin were trying on, and she goes, "Whatever you want, it's yours." She gifted them.
Yeah, that was so nice of her. But she seems like that type of person to help people out. The people she sees
Mhm.
potential in. I'll put it that way. People she
Mhm.
sees potential in, and like who are like she says she later on in the episode, of course, she says, "I see people, not things." So you could tell like
Mhm.
she's all about the people.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so next we go on to Christine and Dr. Chu. I would call him Gabriel, but I think he deserves Dr. Chu.
I like him a lot.
Yes, I do. And they're teaching little baby G how to swim. Um, and in the pool, Dr. G says very casually, "Don't you want to have a little daughter for little baby G? A sibling?" And
And she,
Christine's not into it.
oh no, she's like, not having it. I'm good, thank you. She was trying to shut that down so hard. I'm like, I don't think it's gonna be that
Doesn't
easy.
she realize that these like royal houses require an heir and a spare? Like, come on, girl.
Because what
If
they
your
want
husband
this
say he want another baby, just do it.
because like you have the boy, which is what they really really wanted, but they want a
Mhm.
girl probably to marry into another prominent family so they can blend the two families and have more money.
Well, at this point, he just wants another kid.
hmm But he wants a
Honestly,
girl.
just do it. Well, he wants
They're
the
both
girl
girls.
because
They're both girls.
because right, because the that's what they have left with the
Yeah.
embryos.
hmm
And we'll see that a little bit later on. But this is where we see she says it took her 11 years to have a child. She only now feels accepted by his family, and she doesn't want to go through it again. She goes, she was relegated to sitting at the children's table and forced to clean up the dishes after events. Like, she was not valued because in their culture, society, the women have to give an heir.
Yes, he must be the oldest for them to
Hmm.
for them to treat her that way. I have a feeling he's the oldest child, so she was seen as a
Okay.
failure because she's not producing an heir to the line. And now that she finally has, she's like, okay. I think what in her mind, she's like, okay, I had baby G. I'm good. I'm home free. But now he's like, well, like baby G needs a little sister, and she's like, huh? Where? What? Don't you know what I went through last time with this?
Hmm.
But we'll get to that part later.
Yeah. So then we see Anna and Kelly together at Anna's home. And this is matchmaking session 2, where she's going at Kelly and putting forward Kevin as an option.
Hmm.
Um, but she explains. She goes, I don't like the way, like what happened in Paris. But then they show another scene that Anna was privy to where he was raging again on the phone to Kelly. I was just like, oh my God, what's his problem?
Yeah, I was like, he's gotta go. He's inappropriate. He doesn't value you. You gotta go. And that's
Yeah.
pretty much it. To me, that's just where it lays, because this behavior is too consistent for my taste.
Hmm. Um, Anna also brings up a really good point. She tells Kelly that they are only putting up with him because of her.
Hmm.
Yikes.
But you could see that though. You could see that.
Hmm.
I mean, because the way he acts, the way he speaks to her, the what she tells her friends, like who would want to be around that? Because it's like your friend is bringing him along. You're like, and I think we've all been there in our lives where you deal with a significant other of a friend because of that friendship.
Yeah.
And I'll give an example myself. I've done it, and I've had to tell the person like, look, I don't particularly care. I told the significant other, I'm like, I'm not friends with my friends' significant others. It's just not what I do, because I'm always going to take the side of my friend in public. It's just what it is. What it is. It's a loyalty thing for me. I mean,
Hmm.
you're an accessory. So we're not friends. We'll never be friends. And in this particular case, I'm like, I don't particularly care for you. I
Right.
mean, you're just the byproduct of my relationship with your significant other. So,
Well, Kelly says something very interesting. She goes that they only see the bad side of Andrew, but he's a good person, and she sees him as someone she could marry in the future. Really, girl?
but my thing is this: if all they're seeing is the bad, I mean, and all you're telling, what it seems, all you're really telling them is the bad. Like, what are they supposed to think?
Yeah. Yeah. It's what he's showing them.
What it's a combination though. It's what she's showing and what she's telling them.
Hmm.
Because it seems like that she's telling them more critical things, bad things versus the good things. Because I really haven't seen one good thing from him, sir. Based on your IDB or IMDb, you ain't working too much. Like, so what do you do for a day job?
Like, I think I told you this already. He needs her more than she needs him.
Oh, it's not even close.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
And I think he will try to hold on to this relationship because finally he's got another credit with this show
Mm-hmm.
because of her,
Right.
you know?
He gonna hang on for a couple seasons, I bet you, or try
Yeah,
to.
yeah. Um, this is the scene where Anna says that she's had the 4 marriages and
Okay.
stuff
Yeah.
like that. Um, to me, that seemed like I've had 4 good marriages, 4 good divorces. Like, money solves everything, and for all of
Hmm.
us to be happy.
And she
Just
just
working it out.
the way she said she's like I'm cool,
Mm-hmm.
but she's
Um,
you can tell she's kind of a little bit impulsive. Like she goes with her heart and she goes with what she feels, and like when
mhm,
she's in, and when she's out, she's out. There's no
mhm.
I can see her divorces uh, only taking like a week.
Yeah, because she probably goes in with a lot tight, prenup. And basically, she has that money set aside in a trust because inevitably, as things come into your life, they leave your life. So, you know what you're getting when you're signing up for this ride. And you just take it and go. And there's probably
Mhm.
confidentiality agreements. You can't say anything. Her and I was reading up on her. Her and her, I think it's a brother. Um, their father's company, they sold it for billions of
Mhm.
dollars. Um, so she's just coasting. She really
Right.
is. She didn't really have to do anything to just other than like live her life and be happy at this point.
But you
Um,
remember when we met her,
mhm,
it was quite interesting because she said her father never wanted her to have a job.
mhm. And I think with leaving them, see, this is legacy wealth, like,
Hmm.
generational wealth. He set it up. He did the dirty work. He built up that company and passed it down to his children, and they were able to keep it, prosper,
Hmm.
and make it more than what he did, and then sell it and wash their
Exactly.
hands of that. So, wow. So Anna is not giving up on this. She tells Kelly, not to worry, I'll just take you shopping again. So I guess she
Right.
does all of her negotiating over private shopping.
Yes. And
Mhm.
I'm kind of here for it.
I want to be included. I want to be included, honestly. Okay, so then we see Dr. Chu taking Christine to the egg bank where their embryos are stored, and they actually get to see them, the little girls. And he talks to her again about having a daughter. And then they sit down privately with the doctor from the facility.
Hmm.
And we learn a little bit more about Christine's journey to motherhood.
Yeah. Like she's. I mean, I understand what she's saying, but like the first thing I thought, if you had that much trouble, like you got the money, you better get that little surrogate, get that together.
Right. But they bring up the surrogate. The doctor brings up the
Hmm.
surrogate. And she's like, I don't want to bring shame to his family because if I can't carry my own child, what value am I? And I was feeling for her.
Yes.
I was feeling, she suckered me in. And I was like, "Oh, wow, that's so messed up." But we come to find out that was just an excuse.
That I will say that she got me good because I was like, oh, I was with you. I felt so bad for her. I'm like, she went
Mhm.
through so much and blah blah
She
blah.
almost
But then
died,
yeah, and
you
like
know?
after she was like so visibly upset, and I'm like, oh my
Mhm.
goodness, they've been so much. I'm like, like, well, maybe she's like, I get why she's like doesn't really want to do it. And they kind of find out it's like, she's like, I just don't want another baby, and
Yeah.
that's it, and that's just it.
But there's something behind that, which we'll talk
Yes.
about towards the end of the
Mhm.
show. Next, we see Kelly and Drew go into their therapy session with Dr. Bethany. He is something else.
Oh, is that what we're calling it nowadays? Something else? Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to be nice.
Okay.
So Dr. Bethany says that he has abandonment issues with his parents that he's taken out on her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, why would she want? I kept asking myself, why do you want to place yourself into this situation? Do you really think
Exactly.
that you can fix this individual? And is that what you want? A DIY project? Go down to Michael's. Take Kevin
I,
with you while you're at it. I don't know.
I was in that same train of thinking because I'm thinking like, why do this to yourself? It makes no sense because it's just no. He is who he is at this point. It's not going to change anything, and
Exactly.
it's just going to be it's really just going to be apology after apology after apology, and I'm like, no,
You
like because
know
you're going to
that
keep doing the same. You're going to keep doing the same behavior because she keeps allowing it.
you know that saying, when someone shows you who you are, who they are, believe it. That I
Yep.
hear that every time I see him, whether he's raging or like in the next scene when he's having dinner with the boys. Like, when someone shows you who they are, believe it.
Excuse me. Oh,
Mm-mm.
definitely.
So the next scene, we see Kane, Kevin, and Andrew having dinner. And Kevin tells them about the clothes that he got. Well, first of all, he tells them about going over to Anna's house and how she had the racks of clothes there, the private shopping, what clothes he got, and that she was trying on in front of them, and that she's natural.
Right. She is all natural.
Yes, she is. But then Kane says that could have been a test.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that my parents raised me never to owe anybody, and that he uses that same test to test loyalties of friends.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
And Kevin starts thinking, he's like, oh my God, I don't want her to think like I failed or something like that.
Right. Now,
He actually
mhm,
gets worried about Anna and his relationship with Anna.
I would too, to be honest.
Mhm. Um, what did you think about the the part of the conversation where Andrew was explaining his relationship with Kelly as 360, and Kevin was like, "Shouldn't it be 180?" And Kane was just looking between the two like, "Er, what?"
Right. That was too funny. I was like, okay. Y'all could Kevin leave it alone.
Kevin had a point though.
No, he had a point. It was a very good point too. I was like, okay, I could see um what you're saying because you don't want to keep going in circles.
But how is it that Andrew cannot adequately describe a relationship that he's been in for quite a while? Like, that is frightening.
It's because he's not. I don't think he's in it for the right reasons. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, that was driven home to me when Kane says, Kelly told him that she doesn't have enough anal sex.
That was hilarious.
I
That
think he said that just for shock value.
I think he did too. I was just like I'm like because he said he's for me he said a little too comfortably.
Oh my
If you know
God.
what I mean, he just
Yeah.
blurted it out. I was like, oh
Because
okay,
then Kevin is chiming in saying, "Oh, I'll do the anal sex." Wait, what? Y'all having this the conversation over dinner? Really?
right,
But here's the stinger. Kane then quickly veers into saying he just wants to be invited to the wedding, and then throws out, "Let's go ring shopping." I think Andrew must have swallowed his intestine,
right,
because Kane's version of shopping, I know he's not on par with that.
right. You mean
I
Andrew, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like, I would be scared to go shopping with any of these people. I don't know how
Right.
Kevin does it.
I think he's like these are my friends and they're cool, so I'm just gonna jump in and go. You know
Yeah,
what I
I'm
mean?
just gonna tag along, but I'm gonna, wait in the chair at the front of the store because I know I can't afford anything.
Right.
Ke-
Exactly.
Kevin
Or,
ends
or,
off. Mhm.
or I'll be like, pick me up something.
You know what? He doesn't even say that.
Nope.
He just stands by and he waits, like as if he's the designated bag holder or something. He just doesn't. It doesn't phase him, which is
Right. I think
kind of good.
Yeah, I think he's been around them enough to where he knows just this is just how they live, and this it's not his life, and he's
Mhm.
comfortable in that.
Mhm. He owns his poverty.
I mean, he's not
Mm.
broke, broke, but he's just not.
Yes,
He
he
just does,
is.
he's not
He
broke, broke.
broke. He's 37. How much longer is he gonna be a model? Really?
I mean, hey, like you better like use it. You better use it while you can, and use it all.
Mhm.
Use it all.
Well, Kevin ends off that scene saying he doesn't feel that Kelly and Andrew's relationship will last. You think?
Right. I think we all think that.
Hmm. So next we see Christine and Dr. Chu, I guess at breakfast, and the nanny brings in little baby G, and they're teaching him words in Mandarin. And what was it? Apple? They were telling him to say an apple, and then the nanny busses out apple in Mandarin. Like she speaks Mandarin.
Hmm.
Holy hot hell. Damn. You know what I instantly thought when when I saw that scene? I wonder how much her salary is,
Exactly.
because we later find out that baby G speaks Mandarin and French and he's one.
Yeah, I'm like, baby G got it going on. He got the
Mhm.
bilingual nanny, and baby G just got it going on. So I ain't mad at him.
So Dr. Chu comes up with a an idea to record a video of him with baby G, asking his parents for permission to use a surrogate to have their next child. Um, Christine is in agreement with this because she knows that his parents will not approve of the use of a
Right.
surrogate.
And that was so funny when they said, "Yeah, sure." I was like, "Oops." I was like, "Oops." Good luck with that, Christine.
Hmm. So baby G has a photo shoot and Kevin drops by to help out. The photos are for a magazine spread and his preschool application package.
Hmm.
Um, Kevin gives her some tips for the photos that she's taking, and this winds up where she's telling him how baby G was made, and she explains the issue with the surrogate. And Kevin asks her if she really wants to have another child. So this is where like all the sympathy from the egg egg storage place goes out the window, because you start to see something different in her. Like
Exactly.
she's just not into having another kid. And I don't buy the PTSD from almost dying with
Mm-mm.
baby G. The It's cracking here, and you're just looking at her like, what?
I wonder. I don't know. Like, did he cheat? Did he get someone else pregnant? Like, what's the deal?
I think this is just my opinion, but I think she thinks she's done her job. It took her 11 years to do it. It was very traumatic. She just doesn't want, like, she's got the little boy and that's it.
Hmm.
Um, and she doesn't want to go through that again. What she wants to focus on is becoming the grand dame of, you know,
Hmm.
Beverly Hills, Bel Air, LA, whatever. That's what she's focused on now.
Okay, because my thing was the way what I took away from what the last scene, the producer clip.
Mhm.
I took from it like there was a situation that happened. Like there was a specific situation because
Mhm.
the way her look on her face, she's like, "Well, we're in this mess, blah blah blah," and producers also there's more to the story, and she's all like, she just looks and like I think she says yes. So
Yeah.
there has to be a specific incident, not just she feels she's done her job.
Well, no, my mind changes again once we get to that final scene.
That's right. I keep jumping ahead.
The Because like there's stages of deception here throughout this
Hmm.
episode with her. Like I was all in once she gave her, the story of what happened with baby G. But as her scenes go by, like it just like the curtain is revealed, or the we peel back the layers of the onion to, and my mind changes as the episode goes by, because I do want to give her the benefit of the doubt. um but yeah, things occur throughout the episode that makes my opinion of her and her situation change throughout. Let's see. Then Kevin skateboards over to Anna's house to return the clothes. I thought this was so cute.
I know he's so funny.
She makes a joke of not letting him in at first, and then he asks her to come outside under her porte cochere, and he explains to her that he doesn't know if this was a test, but he wants to bring everything back, and he's sorry. you know um he doesn't know, he just doesn't want to make anybody angry or make anybody disappointed in him. He admits to
Right.
wearing the shoes. And he said something, he's like, I don't know if you have like any deals with these people. And she goes, no, that's Christine. He's like, you bought these things? And she's like, that's where she says, you know, um, she's not impressed with possessions. She's
Mhm.
impressed with people. And then she schools him and she goes, in some cultures, it's an insult to return things. So basically, if I've given you these things, it's because I like you and I want to give them to you.
Exactly. I
Because,
just love that he asked her like, "Are you sponsored? Are you?" When he said, "Are you
yes,
sponsored?" I was
yes.
cracking up.
Yeah, she goes, no, that's Christine, not me. You
And
know, it was a very cute scene. She makes him take off his old shoes and put back on the shoes that she bought for him. And she
mhm,
says, get on your skateboard and go on. And he gets down her driveway and you hear him screaming, I can keep the clothes. He's so happy. And she has a genuine like laugh at it, knowing that she's made someone else happy,
mhm.
And I think that's where she's at in her life right now.
You know what? I think with her being born into her life, she's just so used to it, and she understands that money isn't everything. She was just blessed to be born into it. And
Mhm,
I think some of the people she's come across in her life have also given her that perspective, because maybe she's met some people who are all about the things like Christine.
mhm.
So she's able to be like, okay, like this isn't everything.
Yeah, yeah. Next we see Kane and Kevin going to their friend Cherie's house. Now Cherie is the young lady who has a partner. She already has one child, and she's heavily pregnant with their second child. They are
Hmm.
not married, which is kind of against the grain in their cultures. Um, And we learned that her mom just recently passed of pancreatic cancer the month before.
She is so nice and so sweet. I felt so bad
Mhm,
for her,
mhm.
and like her honesty and openness with it. I'm like, you're just so adorable. I like you so much.
Yeah, and her fear about going back to the hospital to have her baby, so now she's changing her birth plan and
Mhm.
exploring having a home birth instead. Like, her mother was everything to her. Her mother was her manager when she was a pop star in Japan. Like, she was always been there.
Mhm.
And it's sad. And I think Kane does something really sweet for her by doing the prayer, the chanting, and he
Yes.
explains that in Buddhism, the soul stays in the body after death. And the chanting helps it to guide it to another place, like the next incarnation, I guess.
Hmm.
Or and they oh my God, she got down into the kneeling position along with Kevin and with Kane, and they did the chanting ritual, and I just thought it was so sweet. And Kane admits, like his mom, like her mom was like his mom, and he cried. Aww.
I think he was there too when she passed, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, well, or he had seen her right before they
Like before.
passed. He had went to the hospital, I believe. Um, he says something like called to him to go to her.
Right.
Yeah. So it seems like he had a really deep connection with her mom. And it has really, like, and she admits that he is like her best friend, and he's always there for her. So I think like that was a heavy scene. And then at the end of it, she asked Kevin to help her to get up off of the floor, so he helps lift her up. And so there was some little comedic relief at the end of a very heavy scene, but it was very insightful into her life and her relationship with Kane.
Yeah, because I knew they were good friends, but now I could see like, oh, they're like super close, and I was like,
Hmm.
I just liked her so much because she was determined to get down like with them and pray, and then she's like, can you help me up?
Yes.
I thought
Yeah.
that was hilarious because I was looking at her
Hmm.
like, don't, look, you can't get up, don't get up, blah blah blah, and I'm
Well, they
like,
didn't want
oh,
her to get down.
get down, sorry, like get
Yeah.
down, you can't get up, and she was like, I can do it. I'm like, okay.
Aw. And the last scene that we see is Christine and Dr. Chu. They're getting ready for an event, and they get a response back from his parents regarding the video. They're all for it. Christine is not happy.
She thought she was really home free.
Hmm.
She thought she's like, they're never going to accept this. I'm home free. We could put this over, and he's like, guess what? We got the go ahead. She's like, what?
Well, here's the thing. She's produced the significant child, the boy.
Hmm.
The two remaining embryos are girls, which are insignificant. So they can humor Dr. Chu and say, "Go ahead, do the surrogate. We don't care. We got what we wanted."
That's fair. I would love to meet his parents, like to see them and see how traditional they really are. Because for them to agree so quickly is interesting.
I also thought, this is just a side note, that they really don't like Christine. And
Hmm.
they're approving it knowing that she'll be pissed. Because she said something during the show. She said, "I got married to Dr. Chi and then I found out about his lineage. Why didn't you know that before?"
Right.
And then when she said the nonsense, not the nonsense, but when she was saying, "Oh, they put me at the kiddie table and I had to do all of the dishes," that doesn't sound like in-laws that like you.
That, and I want to know the age difference.
The age difference between who?
Dr. G and Christine.
Oh shoot, I saw it yesterday. He's in his 40s and she's in her 30s. So there's about a decade or so
Okay.
between them. But I think that they have approved the surrogate, one, because it's just girl embryos left, and two, to spite Christine. Because then they can come back at her and said, "Look, someone else did what you couldn't."
It would be me, but I could see it.
And we she ends off the episode in her confessional, where the producer is asking her, "Is there something else that we should know about why you don't want to have a kid?" And it seems that there is.
Hmm. I can't wait to find out.
Yeah, so this is Bling Empire season 1 episode 2, Tale of Two Trusts. If you like the content of our channel, please hit the thumbs up button. If you're not already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and share with your friends so that we can get more viewpoints on what we review. Until next time,
All right, everybody. Bye.
bye.